everyone, my name is Vinay Vibadiga. So today I'm going to speak about violence is necessary for peace or not. Violence is necessary for peace is a controversial and complex topic. While violence has historically been used as means to achieve certain objectives, it is important to understand that advocating for violence as a necessary tool for peace raises ethical concerns and goes against principles of non-violence and conflict resolution. Peace is typically defined as the absence of violence and the presence of harmony and understanding. Advocating for violence as a means to achieve peace overlooks the fact that violence often begins more violence and can perpetuate a cycle of conflict. Resorting to violence can result in significant human suffering, loss of life, and destruction, which are incompatible with the goal of peace. Non-violence and peaceful methods of conflict resolution, such as negotiation, dialogue, mediation, and diplomacy, has been successful in many instances throughout history, promoting dialogue, understanding, and empathy, and can lead to a peaceful life. So, I conclude by telling that violence is necessary for peace. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Vinayak. I am going to share my opinion on the topic, is violence necessary for peace? This is a controversial and complex topic with different perspectives and interpretations. One example often cited in order to support the idea that violence can be necessary in order to bring peace is the concept of just war. This theory suggests that under certain conditions, engaging in violence can prevent greater harm and restore peace in the long run. Proponents argue that if a grave injustice is being committed, the use of force is necessary to bring down the oppression or any form of discrimination. While it's generally preferable to seek non-violent means like mediation or any other diplomatic ideas and achieve peace, there are instances in history where violence has played a role in ending oppression or establishing peace. The violence that is used to protect an individual right is good. Violence is necessary because without any threat to humans, there would be humans can endanger each other. So there would be no any consequences for their actions. Citizens of the world are grounded by criminal laws that are punishable by death or any other forms of violence. So hereby I conclude that violence is necessary for peace. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Vineet and I'm going to be throwing some light on the topic, is violence necessary for peace? This topic is controversial, has many takes and opinions, and could also lead to heated arguments. Even though violence is unacceptable, history enlightens us that violence is the answer for many historical events, such as coming out of oppression and etc. I have some examples directly from history to explain this. Actions speak louder than words is a well-constructed phrase in the context of violence, as it gains a lot of attention and solidifies the idea of peace. However, the defeat of Nazis and Imperial Japan through military forces, which is violence, established more stable and peaceful societies and communities in Japan and Europe. If we look at the other side of the coin, if I talk about peace, we have the non-cooperation movement in India led by Mahatma Gandhi, where all the Indians who stepped back from the influence of British and started promoting their own goods such as khadis and other Indian products to stay independent. This is an example of peace. That was an example of violence. I would like to conclude by saying that we should all indulge in peaceful means such as negotiations and agreements and treaties, and make violence the last resort. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vishal. I'm here to give an opinion on, is violence necessary for peace? A concept closely related to peace and violence is human security, which recognizes the interrelation between violence and deprivation of all kinds. It concerns the protection of individuals and communities from both the direct threat of physical violence and the indirect threats They result from poverty and other forms of social, economic, political inequalities, as well as natural disasters and disease. A country may not be under threat of external attack or internal conflict, but still be insecure if, for example, it lacks the capacity to maintain the rule of law, if large populations are displaced by famine or decimated by disease, or if its people lack the basic necessities of survival and access to their human rights. Human security furthers human rights because it addresses situations that gravely threaten human rights and supports the development of systems that give people the building blocks of survival, dignity, and essential freedoms: freedom from want, freedom from fear, and freedom to take action on one's own behalf. It uses two general strategies to accomplish the protection and empowerment. Protection shields people from direct dangers, but also seeks to develop norms, processes, and institutions that maintain security. Empowerment enables people to develop their potential. I hereby conclude saying that violence is not necessary for peace. Thank you.
Hello, I am Vishal. My topic is violence is necessary for peace or not. So the thing is, the violence is the method which we choose for ultimate step. So the thing is that by making the peace also we can do lot of such things which the violence cannot do. So we can, for example, we can talk of the Anna movement, which was taken in a back of 10-12 years. So the Anna Hazare, who was a very well leader, has led the anti-corruption movement, and he took a lot of scandals of the scams which was running in our government. So he led for a hunger strike for more than 5-10 days. So by that he make our Indian government, he forced Indian government to bring a lot of anti-corruption laws throughout the India and throughout our state. And this was the biggest impact. We can say that the peace is a well-known method or a big weapon. We can still convince the people by the violence. So when we are talking of violence, so violence is the thing we can't afford a lot of, because by doing violences we are going to lose we are going to face lot of damages and also for economic losses. So when the Atal Vajpayee has let a bus to our neighboring country, that is Pakistan, so they welcomed initially with a well shake hands, but later on in that same year they turned back and they started war, that in Kargil. So because of that, Indian government has also stood and removed all the peace treaties, and they fought back well efficient and they won the war. It is not that the violence is the only thing we can do it, but when the things got out of control, we have to choose the violence, and we have to do for our world, to make the world better place.
My name is Vishwas. I am here to speak on the topic, is violence necessary for peace? So I would like to share my opinion, where everyone knows that violence is a concept which is totally opposite to the concept of the peace. So many of you guys think that violence is totally immoral or unethical. So, but if non-violence fails in handling any conflicts between the nation or individual, then violence is a ultimate method. As everyone knows that violence is necessary, because without its threat, human would endanger each other, since there would be no consequences for their action. So I would like to take a good example of Indian independence, where independence was nothing but a peace for Indians. So there were two great leaders, Mahatma Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose, who were having a different ideologies, where Gandhiji just believed in non-violence and ahimsa, whereas Subhash Chandra Bose believed in violence. So if Subhash Chandra Bose wouldn't have resigned from his president post of ING, then he would have bought us independence more quicker than what Gandhiji had bought for us. So here there might be a different opinion based on the perspectives, individual perspectives. So I hereby conclude telling that violence is necessary for peace.